Hanna Marin is one of the main characters of the show, Pretty Little Liars, which aired in 2010 based off the novels by Sarah Shepard. She is a compassionate and strong-willed girl. She often spends time with her friends, shopping, and keeping up with the latest fashion trends, despite her idealized perfect image. Hanna has often experimented with her looks, and hasn't always been the way that she comes off as. She is initially friends with the other main characters, but after their friend Allison's disappearance, she separates from the girls and becomes friends with another unpopular girl by the name of Mona. Together, they undergo transformation, and Hanna takes Allison's place as the It Girl. Style-wise, she is considered to be a fashionista, meaning a person who expends a lot of energy into setting trends or eagerly following ones through their clothing or accessories. Hanna's looks are a bit dated now, but the overall essence and presence of her looks work very well on her. Her style is highly eclectic, meaning she pulls different elements of styles, derives ideas from a diverse range of aesthetics, and then curates it into her own. She has a typical teenage, flirty, and feminine look, then adds a bit of trendy edge, which expresses more personality in terms of the Four-Temperament Ensemble. Hanna has a sanguine personality temperament, meaning in nature she's appealing, talkative, emotional, enthusiastic, and very sincere. While this temperament excels in communication-oriented tasks, they do not thrive in other areas. But they are very outgoing, enthusiastic, warm, compassionate, and can relate to other people's feelings. On the downside, they are very rude and can come off very uncaring. This outgoing and proud demeanor is executed through her approach to clothing.
It's an honor just to be nominated, or it's about time where's my throne.
Meaning Hanna will dress up no matter where she is or what she is doing. Her wardrobe is her creative outlet, and she doesn't mind standing out. She actually embraces the attention because she is always put together, polished, and poised. Earlier on, though, Hanna struggled a lot with insecurities and often hid behind her clothing. Her first outfit is a simple t-shirt and hoodie combo, while the other girls are already in their established aesthetics. Hanna isn't in her element at all. Her insecurities were heightened, leading her to lack confidence, feel like she doesn't have a voice, and possess very low self-worth. She struggled with body image and engaged in many unhealthy behaviors, to the point where she developed bulimia. During this period in her life, she was always seen in oversized or baggy clothing, using clothing as a tool for comfort and security, which continues to be a very common action, and actually develops into a coping mechanism. Hanna decides to form a new identity, falling into the makeover archetype, which in media is a major source of character development that commonly results in a change of appearance, which is connected to identity, views, and behaviors. The physical transformation will change the way the character is perceived in the eyes of others. Since Hanna is highly interested in fashion, it's quite normal for her to experiment with her look. She often adapts to trends and tries out new looks, but her more drastic style shifts and makeovers are usually aligned with her mental well-being. Hanna's first makeover initially lacks a change in mentality, as she is very insecure and unsure of herself within her new looks. Mentally here, she is in the same state, but has decided to take on a new identity, which evolves her views and behaviors as the people around her treat her differently. Here, she takes on the trope of the It Girl, which can be defined as an attractive young woman, generally of high social status, who just has that it quality. Within her personality and her appearance, she'll often possess a type of magnetism that people are often captivated by.
Hanna is the It Girl. She was the one that wasn't the It Girl, but now since Alice is missing, she's the one that kind of took over the crowd. It's like the pretty committee. She's very beautiful, silks, you know, diamonds, gold. She's got all the upscale, really high-end. She shops at Neiman, she shops at Barney's, she shops at boutique.
Her environment is very encouraging of this because of social pressures her best friend participating in the same types of behaviors, and her mother trying to be supportive, even stating that she would buy her anything she needed to be popular, while her mother is referring to clothing as a surface-level object for status. Hanna's views of clothing are much deeper than this, because clothing acts as protection for Hanna. According to the Journal of Experimental Social Psychology, the term is described as the systematic influence that clothes have on the wearer's psychological processes and involves the co-occurrence of two independent factors, the symbolic meaning of the clothes and the physical experience of wearing them. It's much like the quote by legendary fashion photographer Bill Cunningham: "Fashion is the armor to survive the reality of everyday life." So this it-girl image that Hanna constantly strives for is psychologically associated with the social structure she is fully immersed in that reinforces that this image is a physical and symbolic meaning of confidence. Hanna develops a new attitude and self-confidence because of her physical transformation, but this external demeanor is more of a facade, because she's only showcasing aspects of her personality that she deems acceptable to share. It's evident as she is distressed about coming off as nerdy, puts a lot of effort into maintaining her image and keeping up with wealthier friends. She began to develop a rebellious nature and be very impulsive, channeling all her energy into her image. Hanna begins to act out in ways so that she can develop a sense of control in her life. For example, she got in the habit of shoplifting, not only to keep up with appearances, but also for amusement and a sense of control. Since Hanna is so image-oriented, she'll often turn to clothing to cope when in distress, which establishes a new sense of control in her life and gives a different channel of control through energy, financial, and image-driven expenditures. Though retail therapy is often joked about, it's actually a very real experience. According to financial psychologists, there is a psychological connection between your emotions and how you spend money, which explains how retail therapy can have such a positive, uplifting effect that is very short-lived, because this occurs most when one is vulnerable and has a lack of impulse control that often goes unchecked.
You remember when my dad left? I did not want to get out of bed, but you forced me to go to every sale that summer at the mall. Yeah. I miss my shopportunist friend. Look, I have a French study group after school, but I can cancel if you want to hit Macy's. I don't just want it, I need it.
Hanna is a very visual person, so by having new pieces in her wardrobe, she is developing a sense of control in her mind, and her thought process is to reject certain images, which leads her to get into another bad habit of bullying others that act in ways or look similar to how she used to, hence ultimately becoming who she dreaded, because she lashes out as a defense mechanism to combat her inner turmoil and regain a sense of superiority. This stems from the constant rejection cast upon her from her friends, family, schoolmates, and boys when she looked a way she didn't like. So she has a need to consistently create a state of perfection that she views as untouchable, so that she can never be hurt again. But obviously this is a very flawed way of thinking and a very unhealthy approach to healing. But once she reconnects with her old friends, it begins to rekindle and embrace the old parts of herself that she left behind, such as her kindness, humor, and wit. She becomes more in touch with herself, rather than constantly curating an image that she cannot naturally keep up with. Before the start of senior year, she cuts her hair to a bob length, wears fewer accessories, and begins to wear flats. This isn't her rejecting her glamorous look, having a more relaxed and natural approach, because she is going through a mental shift. Hanna continues to sport the it-girl look that she loves so much, but is beginning to develop her own sense of identity within it, and is finally embraced by those who love her for who she is, rather than what she has to offer, as she is letting down her guard and regains other aspects of personality that she hid away in order to achieve social standing that she coveted so badly, and shows that she's more capable than people give her credit for. She still loves fashion and dressing up, but this is just a part of her life now that she really enjoys. Rather than self-confinement, she begins to look truly confident and content with her style, rather than working very hard to establish this image that she deems as perfect. She is much more expressive and becomes a person that people can go to, joke around with, depend on, and actually form close bonds with. Her image now is very welcoming, due to softer pieces and warmer ones. This style transition is quite subtle, happens over time, and is very natural. But Hanna does undergo another forced transformation, since this is how she learned to cope with her feelings on her own. Hanna cuts her hair short again, adding in black highlights. She begins wearing edgier clothing, such as boots, ripped jeans, dark off-the-shoulder tops, and darker makeup, going from very feminine silhouettes to more grunge-esque ones. She explores and experiments with this look, which isn't exactly true to her. This is apparent because she isn't even aware of what she wants herself.
You hate it. No, I don't hate it. I actually really like it. I'm just confused by the sudden impulse. I wanted to be spontaneous. Hannah, you're not spontaneous. You make a Pinterest board before you change your nail polish.
But all she knows is that she wants to have a change and look different, rejecting that it-girl look that was once so connected to Allison. She still copes with pain visually by image shifts to instantly give her a sense of control, by physically creating a new state of being, and will shift into a more nonchalant attitude that hides away her true feelings. So an aspect of this look is true. The nature of rebellion aligns with Hanna, but she ultimately drifts back to her soft feminine look, which seems to align with her more, as she does have a heart of gold, but is also very complex and dimensional. The eclectic style encompasses all of this, which allows her to express different sides of her, while still having that base foundation of a very glamorous look that she's the most confident with. As an adult, Hanna's style matures and becomes more simplistic, classy, and elegant. Her clothing no longer attracts as much attention. She wears less saturated colors, more subdued tones, and very romantic pieces. She still utilizes patterns, but makes these the focal point of her outfit, since her accessories are now toned down as well, but still very style-aware in nature. Rather than many statement pieces like in her youth, she's turning more to staples, and creates an elegant balance, rather than a bold balance in her overall look. Her last outfit is a nod to her many styles, as she's wearing a pair of leather leggings and a bold patterned flowing top, with her hair in loose curls and simplistic jewelry. It's very open and carefree, but still very trend conscious, which aligns perfectly with Hanna's personality, showing that she has really come into herself and has found her place in the world, formed a healthy relationship with clothing, and still has a deep love for fashion. Hanna actually ends up being a stylist, channeling all her knowledge that she has acquired through her multiple style shifts into helping others with their image, through growing and powering through her insecurities, and grown into a truly strong person who her loved ones can depend on, because even though she still is this picture-perfect girl, her quote-unquote imperfections allow Hanna to show her heartfelt, selfless side to others, using her sharp wit to actually help people, rather than tear them down, and in a world full of distress, create beauty and moments of joy for her loved ones. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please subscribe, like, turn on notifications, and comment. Thank you so much for watching.